everyone the link.
Yes.
Now, after I understand that there is a technology can help you ease your work, right? So,
Yeah.
It's juga because when people register, some people are not used to it. They tend to think that they can join immediately. So that's what my worry, because they will send to the email kan.
True.
Tahulah.
But they have to get used to it. There's a few ways. Kan, ada you register direct, or you isi form, then or you email, or you WhatsApp the ID and password later.
Yes, correct. These are the things that people are learning.
Yeah, this is one of the pandemic post effects.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, that's true. Funny.
Okay. Hi, teman-teman yang dari Indonesia, ada yang bisa buka kameranya nggak? Pengen lihat sih siapa yang join, kayak Ega, Randi Palik, Rizkyani, Ruli, Uki. Ayo, buka kamera dong, biar jelas.
Malu semuanya.
Ya, nggak apa-apa lah. Anyway, it's okay. Maybe they are not ready. Oh, there. See, my guy from Sulawesi will actually open the camera.
Di dalam mobil.
Yeah, as usual. Gimana kabarnya, Randi? Itu lagi mute.
Ya, kabar baik Misa.
Thank you for joining us today ya.
Ya.
Okay. Sip, gak apa-apa. Ini ada yang nggak bisa join gitu, nggak bisa buka kamera, ya udah nggak apa-apa. Anyway, okay, I think we have enough people to start our show today, and I don't want to make our special guest all the way from Kuala Lumpur to wait. Alright, Assalamualaikum, morning everyone. Thank you for joining us today. This is the new year 2021 is our first show of the year, but we still continue as episode 26. Welcome to Zoom Networking. To those who are very familiar with our platform, our session, who understand this will be the best platform. Cheers. Simply claim the best, right? So anyway, the best platform for you to get insight about business. So today we are about to learn something new from our special guest all the way from Kuala Lumpur. He will be my expert in visual editing, anything got to do with graphic visual. He is the guy. If I actually happen to be in Kuala Lumpur, I would just go to him and ask about all this new technology. So yes, let me introduce you, Fariz Hanapiah. He is the founder of this group called the Experiential
Design Team.
Yes.
Or in short, EDT. Like
EDT. Yeah, EDT. UD perfume. All right. So yes, without wasting any time, let him take the floor and introduce about what he's going to share today. All right, Fariz, the floor is yours.
All right, thank you very much. Let me just quickly share my screen. I hope I'm doing it right. Okay. Oh, I need to open system preferences. Let me just quickly. Okay, I'm just gonna talk while I do this. So basically, we are called Experiential Design Team, and what we do is we play around with the idea of, I'm sorry, this is very troublesome. I can't share my screen. Don't know why. Okay. It says here I need to restart my Zoom. How do I do this? Can I come back? Zaha? You muted, Zaha.
Your screen is here.
Oh, you can see it now?
Yes.
Oh, okay, all right. That's good. Okay, cool. So you're seeing my slide, right?
Yes, I'm actually seeing your
Yes, clear.
desktop.
Your
Very
slide.
clear.
Okay.
Yeah.
My slide, does it say Arvina? Do you see?
Yes.
Yes.
All right, cool.
Arena Augmented Reality Virtual Arena.
Sure. All right. Okay. Thank you very much. So, okay. So in a nutshell, that's what we do. We do a lot of things that related to real-time graphics. So basically what it does is things like augmented reality, virtual reality. So those are real-time graphics. So basically, if you see a game, if you play games, the graphics that you see is real-time graphics. So my team is mostly consists of game designers. So game design graduates, game developers, I hire them. So that's my team. So we've been doing a lot of on-ground activation, apart of doing enterprise level AR and VR. We also do a lot of on-ground activation. So when it comes to our clients, mostly brands and also event companies, okay? So as of last year, 2019, about 80 to 90% of our clients are based in events, okay? So reaching 2020, when the pandemic happened, I would say 80 to 90% of our projects are also either being postponed or canceled. So it's really frustrating for us. So just an overview of what I'm going to share about today is it's a story about how during the pandemic, what we did within the team itself and how we figure out what to do, seeing 80 to 90% of our work is no longer there, right? So the idea of pivoting has to be done. So I'm going to talk you through the whole process. But before that, I'm going to show you a basic idea of what the product is. In this case, it's Arvina, which is short for Augmented Reality Virtual Arena. Okay. Just going to go to the next slide. I'm going to do a short presentation of our show reel. I don't know if the sound will come out. Can you hear the sound? Okay, cool. So these are the things that we do. Combination of AR and VR. So as you can see, there's a lot of on-ground projects there. We did a lot with Petronas as well. So most of their oil and gas shows that they travel to Abu Dhabi, Bangkok, and Perth. So we basically translate whatever they need for communication in the form of interactive screens, AR and VR experiences as well. So they are our biggest client by far. And property developers as well, visualizing property spaces, also through AR and VR. So what's interesting for them to actually explore AR is that, things can get a little bit complicated to explain through videos and brochures. So having AR experience allows them to tell more information with much entertaining way and engaging way. So yeah, Facebook filters. I'm sure you guys have played around with Facebook filters. We have a team that develops that for brands here in Kuala Lumpur. So we created games, not only filters, but we also do games a durian tree popping up in KLCC, face filters as usual, a lot of these things. And on ground things, if you're familiar with Team Lab, if you've seen, I'm sure they were there in Jakarta. So that is one of the things that we try to develop here in Malaysia as well. And we try to create all these different experiential experiences that we can actually deploy on ground as well. Yep. All right. So that's in a nutshell of what we do. Next slide, please. Okay. So I'm going to talk to you about this thing called Arvina. So it is a virtual studio. Okay. So during the days where we do a lot of on-ground events, we thought that, having a virtual studio could be something that we can offer to our existing clients. So we work with event companies that should produce this. Okay. So just to explain to you, so if you have a green screen set, with our technicality to build a virtual set, you can actually build anything you want, all right? Without the hassle of the limitation of the size of the green screen or the size of the hall, okay? Because these things are virtual, you basically can have the biggest LED screen if you want in a virtual setting. So as you can see here, these are some of the examples of a virtual set that we can build, right? So again, it uses the same technology. We use Unreal Engine, the same engine that people use to create AAA games. It has the capability to actually reach to a photorealistic output, okay? And why we are doing this? One thing that we see from live streaming, sometimes it lacks of an essence of a spectacle. So if you do product launches, right? So you need to have that spectacle. So if you are limited by the boundaries of your virtual set, your physical set, then you won't have that much of a spectacle. So what this allows you to do is to bring that imagery of a spectacle as if you're in a physical event as well. So that is our goal. That is what Arvina wants to try to reach in any event, right? And also engagement. I think engagement level has to be there. A lot of events these days, if they want to do spectacle things, they do pre-recording so they can do post-production on it. So what we try to do here is that everything is real time. So you can have engagement. I mean, if you are presenting anything, if you're the host, if you have a viewer that has a question at that time, they can answer it at that moment. And while unlocking that, there's a lot of engagement and interactive things that we can do within that live element. So everything is real time. So the engagement is going to be there, right? And then the power of streaming. So the reach is there in comparison to broadcast channels. People might have transferred the shift of viewership more to online streaming and also on their phones. So, you can, just now we even see someone tuning into this call through a mobile phone in their car while driving. Hopefully you're staying safe. But that shows the idea of reach, okay? So, brands, organization, event companies need to actually reach out using this live streaming technology. So you have Facebook, you have YouTube, you have Instagram. I think even TikTok these days also do live function as well. So it is a big opportunity here, and we can help you provide the setting and the needs of a spectacle, a live event through Arvina as well. Okay, so I'm going to do a quick run of what we have done. We did this launch of a May card. It's a prepaid card that runs within an app. So this one was with Maybank. So this is basically an interface of our Unreal Engine. So we have our studio here in our office. So as you can see, even the studio is small, we can try to make it look big like this. So there's two big sort of LED screen at the back that shows the presentation of the product itself. Yeah. So the engagement we did for this one is a Q&A session. So right after the session, we had the CEO of Maybank to actually sit down and answer the questions from the media. So everything is done straight away through Zoom. So this session was through Zoom. So they will collect the question through the chat box and will pass over to the CEO to actually answer the questions. And it's also hosted as well. All right, so next one, sorry. So this one is another client of us, AirAsia. So as you can see, AirAsia also is hit it hard during the pandemic. So they wanted to shift most of their business into e-commerce. So this is one of the ways that they're exploring the channel to do live streaming, live selling. And we had our team to actually have this one day where they do promotions and they do deals within that time of night. And then people can actually purchase directly to their online portal, right? So if you see there's a QR code at the right side, so people can actually scan it to actually bring them over to the e-commerce site. So depending on the timing of the presentation, so it leads you to a different part of the e-commerce site as well. And again, engagement. We want to entice people to actually tune in. So we do giveaways. So we put out questions, live questions, and we monitor the responses through the chat box. And we choose the one who answers the fastest and give away prizes to them. Yeah, so that's the grand prize winner for that night. And next one would be, this is the third one. This is interesting. I would say this is the most complex execution that we've done so far because it involves 100 participants tuning into this live game show. So they will need to answer a few questions, and the top 3 will go into the final round, and the final 3 will then contest again to get the prize, the grand prize winner. So the biggest winner will receive 50,000 ringgit that night. So these are the 100 contestants, and everything is done live. So you have your questions there, and the way they answer the question is through their phones. So we encourage them to either tune in through their PC or laptop, and then have their mobile phone on the sides to actually be the interface for them to actually answer the questions. I mean, we have music performances as well in between, just to break probably becomes a little bit too long for the question and answer session. So we come in with a bit of an entertainment. So this is also done live as well. Yeah. Right. So that is for things that we've done. So looking at how we approach this is that there's two ways of approaching this. Is of course virtual event, something that you just saw, and also broadcast system. So what we try to do here is that we want to provide, broadcast system that previously would cost you millions of ringgit to actually execute. Now you can make it a bit more affordable for event companies or in-house studios or YouTube video creators to actually set up this sort of interactive virtual stage for them. So we help them set that up, and then we maintain them in terms of the content. So so there's two ways of actually deploying this. And the good thing is that what we try to do is we try to build a template out of the design that we've done. So, sometimes event companies coming in saying that, oh, the event's happening in the next 3 weeks, right? Or even 2 weeks. So we need to find a way to actually quickly build the virtual set. So having this sort of template, as we grow bigger, we will have more templates and the work will become much faster. So the first project, we would say, we probably need about a month plus to actually build a virtual set. But these days we can actually, if we have as much templates as we can, the development will be much quicker. So that is always good for clients and also event companies. And then augmented reality presentation. So as you can see, you can have anything in a virtual world. So you can have things flying in and out the stage, something that you can't really do previously on a physical stage. Now you can do it using a virtual element. So, if you're presenting a product, you can have the product popping up from the floor or fly in from the top. It depends on the creativity that you have in mind. And then live interaction. I think this is one of the key things that needs to be deployed in your live streams. You can't really rely just on how many people participate or how many viewers you get. The real metric that you need to look into are engagement. So, you might have people tuning in, but they might have their attention in other tabs in their web browser. Who knows, right? So the way that we collect information of a real engagement data is through this sort of engagement. So it's as simple as putting out polls or simple questions, just simple ones. You want them to actually interact with you, so that encourage people to actually participate, and by that you will have more engagement and people will pay attention to your presentation. And then live video call with guests. This is also something that is really important, like what we're doing here. You can't meet physically these days. So, having people to come in virtually, right? So like what we're doing here. So we have that feature in as well, but we can place them that suits the design of the stage itself. So the aesthetic will still be there. And then the QR code. I think QR code these days are really important. It's a gateway for you to go to a different part of the experience. So same thing here. So if you want, even after the live show has ended, the QR code will allow you to have second-hand experiences. So if you have something that they want to, a simple game that they want to play, or a spot where they can see the product in a form of augmented reality. So you scan the QR code, you can see your product popping up on your table. So this sort of experience allows them to take home. That will be the takeaway bag, right? So in a physical event, you will probably have those bags that you can take home. So this is some sort of like a digital form of that as well, right? And stream it out live. So you have platforms like Facebook, YouTube, or if you have your own streaming server, you give us the stream key and we can always stream it out to whatever channels that you have. It depends on where your audiences are mostly based in. So if you're strong in Facebook, you do it in Facebook. If you're strong in YouTube, you do it in YouTube. Depends on where your audiences are. right? So to sum up the process, this is something that really want to put into perspective. So we've seen live streaming that does pre-record. So you do recording of your green screen, and then you send it over to a post-production house to actually do graphics on it, and then you put it out live, scheduled live stream, right? So what we try to do here is slightly different. We do everything real time. So the client will definitely on set will see them placed directly on the stage itself. One thing it would do is that it allows clients to actually see the final product, and then you can have that live engagement, which pre-records cannot do. So these are the two things that we want to really highlight. And the workflow has become different because of that. So it's really important for clients to understand the workflow, right? Okay, we just only started the story actually. So the idea came about when the lockdown was announced. So everyone has to work from home. So we had 80 to 90% of our projects being either postponed or cancelled. So it was really frustrating for us. So the future kind of like look a little bit scary for us. And then I thought that we need to collect ourselves and really look into what we can do based on what we have, right? So we do a lot of brainstorming session every day. Even though we work from home, we set every day, 10 a.m. we gather around, dial in through Zoom or Discord, just discuss ideas on how we want to, approach if this lockdown would extend. We need to make sure that we are COVID-proof in some way, right? So we sent out some briefs for our team to actually test things out. As you know, Arvina is by this time is non-existent yet. So what we know is just to produce things in AR and VR, that's it. Nothing on broadcast or nothing on live streaming and all that. Zero knowledge. So we did a lot of R&D. So it came about quite fast. Yeah. So everyone understands the idea of pivoting. So we were introduced to this idea of virtual production. If you see Netflix series Mandalorian, so they actually did the whole setting via a virtual production setting. So you have an LED at the back, you have your actors in front of the LEDs, but you frame it in a way that as if they're there. So the thought of this technicality really got us interested and see how we can actually apply this to our existing clients. Because there's no way for us to actually find new clients at this moment. The only thing that you can talk to are your existing clients, So, we know we have a lot of event companies, so we want to really understand what they're looking at. So we got an idea that, a lot of their clients are actually asking them to bring over the idea of physical event into a virtual event, right? And after doing a little bit of homework, we saw that there's two ways of doing it. There's the virtual event side where you do the event management side of things, where you have a platform, you have your user registration done, you have your breakout sessions done, and you have your, scheduling all done. So that is sort of like a web development work. And then the other side is actually the presentation itself, the keynote presentation, and then the, anything that has to do with live streaming seminars, like what we're having here. And it seems a little bit closer to us to do that part of the virtual event side. So we decided to handle just that, right? And it's a little bit more, I would say, budget friendly for us. Not so much investment that we need to look into. We just use whatever talent that we have in the studio. We can actually produce that already. Okay. So we came up with this sizzle, right? So the team actually came up with this during the work from home process. So we created a few virtual stages just to show the idea of how Arena would look like. By this time, we haven't got any real clients yet. It's just putting things out and see what the responses are, just to get that feedback. So these are the things that we came up with. Yeah, and the nearest test, I would say, a test event that we did was with our friends in this group called Kitamen. So they do a lot of esports events. So we thought that probably we can do an online live streaming of an esport tournament, but hosted in Arena stage. So that's exactly what we did. Show you in this slide. So this is exactly what we did. So we use this as a platform to actually test out. You know, if you want to test things out, you don't test with the real client lah. You really want to allow, you know, some mistakes will be made, but you know, big mistakes, you better to have a friendly party that will allow you to actually make mistakes. So this was our testing period. So we tested out, we learned a lot from here, and then we thought that we were ready to actually face the client to actually pitch this out. So that happened during the third month. So the whole process only happened within the three months, the whole development period. And then, yeah, before that, month 2, which is July, is where we do a lot of demos. So based on these things that we've collected, we call in clients to actually come over to our studio. We do live demonstration, how it works, you know. Some of the clients that we think that, you know, potentially going to be big, we even brought our machines over to their place and do a demo. We even made some bespoke virtual set for them, just to get that idea of how quick we can do this. So this is really aggressive kind of like a marketing for us. So every week we had at least 2 or 3 demo session where we physically meet the clients and demonstrate. So that's the best way to actually show clients on how we can do it. So the third month would be the month where we got our first project. It was with the national TV, which is the TV1. It was for Merdeka launch. So when we got that opportunity, we straight away say yes to it. And then by that as well, it opens up new possibilities to actually you know, work with rental houses as well, because most rental houses, there's no event, so they have a lot of these you know, gadgetries lying away in their storage space. So they are willing to actually let us use, you know, work together, create new opportunities from there. So you know, as you can see here, that camera is called the PTZ camera. It costs about 50,000 ringgit. So something that I wouldn't be able to actually purchase even 1 unit at that stage. So these guys are actually allowing us to actually use it, but whatever being produced during that test period could be shared together, so we can actually benefit for both sides. So these sort of relationship that we are able to build during these times to work together to actually build new businesses, right? But there are a lot of mistakes that we went through during our first few clients. You know, something that we learn from. It's not that we don't learn from it. We have to learn from it, but mistakes due to happen. So our first mistake was with our team themselves. So the idea of having no post-production, having everything in real time, is somewhat alien to them. The whole workflow is a bit alien to them. So we ended up doing the traditional ways of production. So they had idea of things popping up into the screen and all that. So there's a lot of pre-planning that needs to be done, which we didn't do. So we don't have that much information to actually do it using real-time graphics. So we ended up shooting the whole plate again and send it out to post-production house to actually do the graphics and put it back into a the playback system for VT. So we failed in this project, but we delivered to the client, but we we basically did a lot of loss lah, because we need to hire a post-production house to actually finish this, right? And then we also did another mistake with Petronas. It's also a live event. Again, these mistakes are mistakes on the process, but not the mistake on the delivery. Don't get me wrong. We actually delivered everything, but we do it the hard way. So again, they had a virtual event that lasted about an hour. So if you were to do a real-time graphics, the whole recording will only last 1 hour. But if you do post-production works, imagine producing a motion graphics video at a duration of 1 hour. They will usually take about a month plus to actually produce a 1 hour content. But then we need to do it within 3 days. So a lot of our staff, I need to hire a lot of freelancers to actually deliver the job. And they have sleepless nights, 4 nights without sleeping to actually finish the animation. So again, the mistake here was communication. So it's really important for clients to understand the whole process and be down with it. So there's a lot of awareness process that we need to get the client on board, which now we already have that. We get the client to come to our studio and understand the whole process and have different milestones in different parts of the project to make sure these things don't happen again, right? So when it comes to September and October, I would say that this is our maturity level of the product. We are sort of like commercial ready already. So that's where Maybank, AirAsia, and Hada Labo came in. Within one month, we did these 3 events. So that's how quick we can actually overturn the whole issue with our mistakes and actually deliver the project. And the way we approach these 3 events is different, okay? For Maybank is all about pre-recording and live. So we have a mix of pre-record because some speakers are not comfortable doing live. They're afraid of making mistakes on live broadcast. So we pre-record them. But then we still need to have that live aspect of it. That's where the Q&A comes in, right? And then for Asia Super Sale is using the PTZ Cam. So PTZ Cam, the expensive camera, has a tracking function to it. So if we zoom into these people over here, the background also synchronized with the whole zooming in process. So it looks as if they are in that actual virtual stage, right? And then for Hada Labo, it's about getting that engagement, creating that live game show. You have 100 people tuning in. You need to actually do 2 rehearsals where you have all 100 people dialing in and trying out the game, make sure they understand the whole process. So it is quite cumbersome to actually deal with 100 people dialing in. And we can't go live if you have 99 people. We need to have that 100 people. So, we have people to actually know their phone numbers and call in if they have any issue connecting to the game. So that is another challenge that we had. So as you can see here, 3 events, 3 different challenges. You basically learn 3 things in 1 month. So these events are very much successful for us. All right, so just to sum it up, in terms of how we process this is that you have a problem, you have an idea, and you do tests, on the software side, and then you do on-site tests. So that's where once we got back into our studio after the lockdown, we set up a simple green screen with a simple cloth. We try it out, and then we simulate it with a friendly party. That's you can't really learn anything if you do things in-house. You need to simulate the real project. So, but with a friendly party. So if we were to make mistake, they're a friendly party. But then with that minimum viable product that we have, the sizzles that we have, we push out, we do marketing, promo campaign, and then we get real clients, right? But there will be bound to make mistakes as well. But every client that we do, we make less mistakes, okay? And by now, we are sort of there, but we know what the mistakes we probably can do, but we put that aside. We only push out things that we believe in we can do 100% perfect. right? So this is the process, how we came about within the 3 months of pivoting to a new product. So this is what we did with RTM. So this is AR, but it's a pre-record AR. So we pre-record the host, talking about the tank coming into the stage, and then the tank comes in. But we air this live. So, it caught up a lot of attention as well, because it's for a show for our Independence Day, Merdeka Day. And then we did this Petronas event that I mentioned that most of our staff didn't sleep for 4 days. So it's a one hour event, live stream event. And then we have this Maybank, you saw the video just now. And then we have this Asia live selling, and then the Hadalabo. Yeah, so there's one thing that we really want to highlight in terms of preparation for live stream. First thing is that you need to define your objective. So we need to know why you're doing this in the first place, so we can propose you the best way to do it. And then choosing your live stream platform, either you do Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. So we try to actually prioritize where your audiences are. So if you're much stronger in Facebook, we do that first. But we have a function where we can do multiple streams at once. So I think that's where we would probably push to our clients, find as much channels or partners channels. So if you have distributors who have different YouTube channels, we can also do that. We channel out to them, so you have multiple audiences at one time. And then scale of production equipment. So what sort of scale are you looking at? Is it simple live stream? You might not need fancy Arvina green screen. You might just do a simple live stream. If we think that is the best way for the client and the client's budget, we will push for that as well. Ways to engage with clients, that's the next important thing. How are you engaging? How are you making sure that people tune in and not dropping out from the live stream, right? So you do, quick engagement, asking questions, getting feedback. So you do polls, games. So those sort of things will retain the audience till the end. I think that is really important. And how you do promotion for your live stream. So it is another thing that we need to also look into. We don't do promotion for them, but we do want to see how they are promoting the live stream. And rehearsals, I think this is really important. Clients, they want to present themselves. They need to do rehearsal. They need to be prepared in what they want to say. So they minimize the fumble, and you have shorter time in terms of the production period. And then internet speed, I think that this is also very important. You don't want your live stream to actually have, choppy outcomes or low quality images. We stream out at full HD. Our minimum requirement that we see is at least 100 Mbps to do a smooth live stream. So we need to check that at least you have that done already. And then live stream monitoring. This is where you can track, your drop off period. So at certain point of the show, people will drop out. You need to identify why. And if you were to do another show later, reason why people drop out, because they, probably they talk about something that might not have interest on the audience. So we try not to talk about that again. Find ways to actually have that engagement level maintained as much as you can. So monitoring is really, really important. And we also have a tool. So if you have multiple streams at one time, YouTube, Facebook, and other YouTube channels, so we can actually monitor in these multiple channels at one time. Right, now we're talking about the future. Where we're heading after this is that, we're looking at possibilities of doing live concerts. We did one event, again, with our friendly parties. We did this electronic music live event where we had a simple green screen setup like this, but then we placed them in this sort of like LED setting where you can have your DJs and VJs showing off their visual and musical skills live. And we also did this experiment with paid tickets. So we sell the tickets at, I think it was about 30 ringgit to be honest, we could do better. We had about 100 audiences that night, which is okay. I mean, for the first round trial, I think that's fine. And we only had a week plus to actually promote it. So this is something that we really want to go into. You know, there's a lot of, you know, musical performances that is missing that platform to actually do their performances. So we can provide them the platform to do this. And then live e-commerce is something that we see big potential as well. I mean, Lazada and also Shopee come out with a marketplace and have a live selling function as a support to their marketplace. And then TV shopping is big here in our region as well. And then also conversational shopping. So, you know, people want to have conversation before they buy things. So this is another opportunity that we can look into using the same technology. So you can sell things, and then you, the way you interact with them is that you probably have a chat box that we can add in a bot where they can actually do their transaction directly to checkout. So the purchasing journey will be much quicker and much more seamless. And then virtual production, I would say this is another vertical that we can expand to. So we can cater to TV commercial or film production houses. So if they want to fly the crew out to, you know, Tokyo to get that Sakura scene, it might be costly and you can't even do it during these times, you know. But with Unreal Engine, you can actually create this photorealistic scene of, you know, in Japan, for instance. So you can have these being projected on the LED and as if you're there. So you'll be surprised how much of photorealism you can get through this sort of execution. So this is another thing that we really want to actually produce by end of this year. And then, of course, regional collaboration. I think this is where our network comes in. You know, we can do this not only in Malaysia, we can also have collaborators from Indonesia, from Singapore, from Philippines, or even somewhere, any part of the world. So we can actually help you build the virtual stage, and then you can have your physical green screen and your talents in your physical space, physical studio, anywhere in Jakarta or Singapore. And then we will send out the digital file for you to actually deploy it on your stage. So this is something that we can definitely work out in the future. Oops. Okay. Yeah, I think that's about it. I hope it's not too long of a presentation. It's 10:54 now. I'm open for any question or any opinions that you have on this, and also any potential thing that we can work on together. I think there's a lot of things that we can definitely work on together. Yeah, thank you very much. Thank you.
Right. Thanks, Fariz, for the wonderful sharing. I'm beginning to think that I'm going to have my own TV station now. My own TV shopping, or probably, you know, so many things on my mind now by just understanding this technology and this thing that you are doing. I'm sure some of us here, as I saw when they registered, are from the advertising agency in Indonesia. Some of them are also from the event organizer from in Indonesia. And we have our good friend here. Jay is also an event organizer in Malaysia. We have our brother Sulki from Singapore. He is also doing something with visual. He's actually doing outdoor advertising, but more into electronic. So I think when I saw him came in, I actually probably believe that he can also work together with you. He probably have a client who want to showcase a product. I do not know how to do it. Yeah, he can engage Fariz to do this. So yes, Sebastian, how are you? We have Stephen here from Jakarta. We have Ali Sherazi from Singapore. We have Azuni from Kelantan. Hi, Steven. How are you? Thank you for joining. I hope you are mute. Yes.
Still cannot hear.
Yeah. I don't know why.
I think he has to okay, unmute, but then increase your volume.
Hello?
Hello?
Yeah. Can you hear us?
Hello. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yeah, I can hear you loud and clear.
Yeah, Steven is from Jakarta. He's one of a friend that we met in one of our other group called Apiari Co-working Space. He is running his own company, consulting company. So yeah, I'm glad he actually finally joined our Zoom networking after so long. Thank you for joining. And yes, to be honest, 90% the audience today are from Indonesia. I guess it's probably a new thing in Indonesia. So maybe if they really want to know more, they can actually connect with us and then we can actually do this together. Just wondering, any of you have any question for Fariz? Any question, please ask so we can actually listen.
Yes.
I have a question.
Oh, all right. Please.
Hi, Fariz. Thank you for the presentation. Of course, it is exciting with these virtual events and virtual experience that we are trying to educate the masses because it's also still something new for everyone. I just want to touch on the slides where you made there was a few mistakes with RTM and with other clients and all that. Let me just understand, when you propose this virtual experience thing to them, did you run through, did they initially understood what they are going into, or they pretend they understand?
I would say the latter. When we presented, because basically this is all new thing, it's quite an alien for most of our clients. So when we explain the steps, they don't know what they're getting into until they see it. Right? They only are able to actually compute whatever the proposal deck until they actually see the final product. I think this is not only an issue here in Malaysia, but I think all over the world. So people will see things better and understand better when they see it, when they feel it, when they go inside the whole experience, only that they can understand. But there are some sort of like a certain investment that we need to do in order to get that. In order for us to actually be a bit more budget friendly, we are binded by only paper proposal at that point. So those are the early days. I think once they understand that, and I use this mistake case study for our current clients in just to understand both sides, from our side what to communicate and what to propose and not to propose to client, and also for the client to understand what's doable and what's not doable, especially during, there's always two things, the budget and also the time frame, right? So we really need to communicate that to our potential clients.
Okay, budget and time frame. So you have a different packages, or it is all customizable?
We have a range of budget, so we can, what we offer to them are ranges. So based on their scale of development and also the time frame that we have during that particular project. So it's easier for us to actually build a package for it, but that's what we did during the first round, and we found out that when things are new, the expectations are different. It's always different. It's really hard for us to contain everything in a package. I mean, if you are to rent out a studio, I think people will already understand, like, okay, a studio, a day's rent is this much, 4 hours rent this much. You know, you have a predetermined value that what you're paying for. But when anything is new, it's really hard for us to actually have that in packages. But we do have a price range. So one thing, if a client were able to share us are, if they have a specific budget, then we propose based on that budget. I think that is the best way to do it, but not all clients will be able to do that. You need to have like certain relationship with the client for them to actually tell you how much the budget is, right? So, so it depends. So what we do is that we brief them, we get the brief from them, and then we propose the cost structure based on that.
Yeah, I think the latter would be usually the case because they wouldn't know how much to budget for because it's something new to them. And also I would understand that they would not want to under budget because then we will not be able to deliver their expectations, whatever their expectation is.
Yeah.
Thank you, Fariz.
No worries. Thank you very much.
Just to share with everyone, Fariz graduated from the same university that the creator of Upin Ipin and Bobo Boy. So actually we came from the same university as well. So yeah, you can see the growth of multimedia university, free advertising. University. That how we have all this talent. Yes, indeed. What we have here today is something new. Probably most of us still try to understand how they can actually do it with you. Maybe Brother Sulki have something to ask. You have anything to ask?
Assalamualaikum everybody.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Assalamualaikum Pak Fariz. I don't have much things to ask, but only interest. Actually, I'm actually more interested on the background work, the digital, the computer generated images that you are generating. I think that is what I'm interested in, because I'm actually looking to work with digital, what you call this, computer graphic digital artist, to produce works, artworks. And maybe some of you can see behind my background, what they call this,
origami swans.
Yes. So these are the things. These kind of artwork that we are going to produce, and I'm looking for artists, digital artists that can produce this kind of production.
Yes. Yeah, definitely. We can definitely talk a lot more on that later. Just a quick question. Have you guys seen GoPay ad? The recent GoPay ad. It's like fully CG TV commercial.
GoPay.
GoPay, yes.
Never heard of
GoPay
it.
as in Gojek. GoPay.
GoPay?
Oh, GoPay as in Gojek.
Gojeks.
Oh, okay.
I don't think we've seen it before because we've been busy using the apps.
Okay. So if you check the TV commercial that they produce, that is fully CG and it's done via virtual production.
Right.
It's totally done using zero physical talent. It's all motion capture and done within a virtual production workspace. So I think I can share with you the URL later or video. I think you can
go to YouTube.
Be able to YouTube that, but it's really interesting, and it is interesting as well that the Indonesian market actually spending for this sort of thing. That shows that the validity of that idea is actually has a demand. We just need to. I'm sure they spend a lot. The team that actually does that, I don't think it's a bunch of Mat Saleh from overseas. So I can share you the link later. I'll share it to you, Zaha. Maybe you can share.
Sure.
That's the thing. That's one thing I mean, trying to build this capabilities in Asia. And all these artwork, art pieces, which I communicated with them, most of them are overseas, Australia, Europe, and America. So I'm trying to find, develop this capability here in Asia. And because I want to have more Asian feel to the digital arts production.
Yes. And that's true. I think one of the verticals that we look into as well with our clients are also training. And that's what we do with universities and colleges as well. So we do workshops because it's new, it's not presented in their syllabus when they learn within their campuses walls. So what we do is that we work with lecturers and professors in these colleges to actually build a workshop module. Okay. So we can do a workshop, like a weekend workshop, 2 days workshop. So at least if you have a background in 3D design or 3D modeling, you can quickly jump into real-time graphics. So this is something that we also want to look forward to. We, for the past 13 years doing business, we also took a lot of interns from Indonesia. They originated from MMU and also Lingkok Wing. There's a lot of Indonesian students there. So with the proximity of our office back then nearby the colleges, so we took in a lot of Indonesian interns as well. So we can also work into that sense that, if we have the training done and then we can deploy another setup in their respective countries in the future. So these guys our ex-intern nowadays has their own graphic studios and they're working with Gojek even. So big companies in Indonesia. So a proud moment for us.
Yeah, I think it's this computer generated, some people call it generative art, is actually a growing big market. And we are actually want to develop a special part of it. So that's why I'm looking for more, more people who have the capability, especially in Asia, because I want to give that Asian feel or Asian perspective.
Don't worry, you are talking to the big brother of the group that have the talent. By the way, Ali here, he raised his hand. Ali, you have anything to ask, Ali?
Yes. Thank you, Zaha. Thanks for the invite. Very nice presentation for us.
Thank you.
Few questions I have, if you don't mind. One is, with a lot of startups and COVID being the epicenter of everybody working from home-based solutions, what do you suggest or would you recommend for startups in terms of shoestring budgets to optimize their reach on such platforms? Do you allocate a certain amount when you consult with your organizations? Do you say, okay, look, you should allocate this much funds for this much audience reach, and how do you quantify that reach? And second, the 3 engagements you had in that 1 month, what did you, as far as from a customer's perspective, what do you feel that they resulted or they were satisfied with the outcomes of what they got from your organization? What was the key thing? Was it reach? Was it interaction? Was it engagement? Those are a few questions I have, if you don't mind me asking.
Sure. Thank you. That's a very good question. So the first one, in terms of the budgeting, of course, not everyone has a deep pocket, especially these days in the pandemic times. So the first question that we would ask, apart from the brief, is again the budget that you're looking at. So again, based on the reach that you're looking at and the need of making it within Arvina space. So the basic goal why people would look into Arvina are, one, the engagement level, and also the cosmetics, the spectacle and the looks of it, right? But if the looks is not so important for them at that moment, it's more of like, you want direct engagement with the users, your customers. Probably things like a Zoom call like this will work, or things like third-party services like StreamYard, for example. It also provide that same capabilities, but at a much lesser price. I don't need fancy virtual studio. I just need a green screen where I can put my logo. That's it. If you have clients that you can't force them to actually spend more for Arvina, right? So we will show them towards these kind of solution, whatever will make their goals work, right? So we don't force them into adopting our product. So again, we need to know their scale as well. So that's one component that we need to know. And then for your next question was, what was the main outcome from that three different events, right? So from the first one, Maybank, I think it's a bit more of, it's a media event. So the way we present the questions and also answering the question was within that virtual space that, we want to bring them the idea of actually being there in that sort of setting. Whether we reach that goal or not, there's no metric to actually calculate on that. But the sort of engagement that we get and the retention of the audiences, it's almost zero dropouts during the whole session. So, but we have slightly increased, but that's because of people dialing in later during the event. So yeah, so I won't count that in. I would count the dropout, the drop-off rate. I think you shouldn't be having a lot of drop-off. So what Arvina allows them to do is that to retain that rate at almost zero. And then for the third one was the Hada Labo. I think that's the online game show. That's all about the interaction. Okay, so clients wanting to do a game show, there's no way of doing a game show if you just do a Zoom call. I mean, you can, but it will be very messy, right? So doing it in a way that is very much organized. So you have your viewers displayed, 100 people there, and then you have your host in the middle, and then you have your question displayed big on the screen. You have your phone to answer the question. I think that is a very organized way to actually hold a game show. Why game show? I think game show has been around for decades, and people know the attractiveness of game shows. So if you're a participant, you get to win something. If you're a viewer, you can see the drama, right? That's another thing that we try to push to our hosts, is to create that drama. So for the audiences that has less scores, you just pick on them, like, hey, why can't you answer these questions? It's really a simple question to answer. So do you have that drama? People will laugh and people will ridicule each other. So that drama is really important. So that's something that we can't do with other platforms.
Excellent. Thank you for those answers. On that first answer regarding the exposure you get with Arvina, I understand it's a pricey solution. It's high tech, but I think isn't that the focus of technology is to make it affordable for multiple tier levels of organizations to walk in and say, I like the solution as well. As such, has there been a solution available from anybody or any organization to afford this for the startups and the SMEs who would like to captivate on that? And obviously Maybank and all those guys have deep pockets. But the idea is that if technology is affordable to startups, SMEs, then you grow that spectrum of customer base. And increase that following for everybody else. So I'm just thinking if there is anything such as...
Yeah. So currently we're proposing a sort of like a broadcast setup for, I can't say the organization yet, but this organization actually holds a lot of SMEs under them. So what we do is that we work with them, we help them set up a green screen studio, and we build a virtual set for them, for this organization. Then all these smaller SMEs can actually utilize it in a bulk implementation. So our relationship with this organization is more of a monthly retainer fee. So we maintain that virtual stage. So if a different SME is coming in, wanting a different customized feature, we can do that within the retainer. So there's two ways of doing it. There's one-off, like Maybanks and AirAsia's. So we have one-off, and then there are retainer program that we help them build this virtual set, and then we maintain for their customers. So
very good. Excellent. Thank you for those answers.
No worries. Thank you.
Thank you, Ali. Thank you, Fariz.
Okay.
Anyone else have, I mean, I am actually waiting for our Indonesian friend to ask question. Please, by all means, you can either ask in Bahasa. I can help translate. I even have Farah here from Jakarta can translate the question.
Yes.
And I believe Fariz also understand Indonesian.
Bisa.
Please, don't be shy. I mean, it's okay. You don't want to open your camera. It's okay. I can go and find you in Jakarta soon. No problem. Is there any question? I mean, I know we have few friends here from event organizing and then advertising agency. You probably have some sort of ideas that you probably can check with Fariz.
Yeah.
I
think what we can approach is if you guys are doing events and we want to try to do this international collaboration between Kuala Lumpur and Jakarta, I think it's a good start if we are able to find a project that we can work together. But at the end of the day, what you really want to do is to actually build your own team in Jakarta. So that is something that we can definitely work out together. Because I believe in Indonesia that the opportunity is really big, and probably I can come in and help out build a team for you. You know, there's a lot of ways to actually approach this. You don't have to actually rely on us every time. There's something that we can also do technology transfer to Indonesia. But if you were to start anything on this, we use Unreal Engine. So Unreal Engine is an open source. So if you were to Google Unreal Engine and you want to start your own, I think you can actually do little bits of, trying out yourself. But again, what we have in terms for our side is more on events itself, because Unreal Engine is for games. So you want to create games, you can do that. But we have the modules for events. So it's something that we can work on together.
Yes, thank you, Fariz. I think they are probably shy or they probably would ask later. No problem. We can always keep in touch. I have a question.
Okay.
What if I want to run a fashion show?
Fashion show? Yeah. There have been two requests to do fashion show actually. I think one of our friends in Jakarta also had done a virtual fashion show. Fashion Nusantara Fashion, was it?
Yes.
And they did a really good job. But I don't think it was a live stream. It was more of a digital showcase of the products on a website. So if you want to do a live show, that will be another step further. And I would say, you can have that runway session. You can have that treadmill running, so you can walk on that treadmill and have that virtual environment moving towards that. So there's a lot of ways to actually do that. And then you can also connect, e-commerce to that. So if you are wanting to actually buy that particular product, you can actually scan the QR code, or, you can have the chatbot say, I love this, I want to buy it now. And then a bot will respond to that. That brings you over to the e-commerce site. So there's a lot of ways to actually do it. But yes, there are requests to do that actually, but we haven't got any clients for now. But opportunities are always open for that.
There's a question from Ega Iswara. Since this tech is real time, how do you prepare for technical problems? Do you have a backup system?
Okay, just like any live shows or live TV, usually your last line of defense will be a slate saying that we'll be back soon, right? Right? So in case of any technical problems, we will have that slate coming up. But one thing that we cannot have a plan B is your internet connection. I think internet connection is really, really important. When you have a very unstable internet connection, even that plate saying we'll be back soon also it's going to be totally a blank screen. So in order to recover from that, if you don't do live means that you do pre-record and then stream it out live. We have the service where you can upload the video to cloud and schedule it to live, right? So that one is 100%, there won't be any problem lah. But you won't have that, interactivity visually. You still have interactivity on the chatbot, but not visually. But if you're talking about live, the best defense is that we'll be back soon. But if you don't have if the problem is internet connection, you're basically dead. That's why it's really important the internet connection is stable wherever you're doing your.
I think the internet, in terms of internet connection throughout Southeast Asia, we are still okay.
Yeah, we're still okay. Yeah. Because you by right, if you see the bandwidth that actually, if you do Facebook Live, the bandwidth you need is about 2 to 3 Mbps only, right? But when your internet connection is that speed, you don't have any buffer to actually, it's really scary lah, basically. So what you ask from your clients is having 50 to 100,000, 100 Mbps.
Yes.
Connection. Yeah.
Correct. Oh yes. There's another question. Based on your experience, how the budget comparison between offline? Yeah, I think it's comparison between offline and online event.
Right. That's a good question. By right, usually in terms of the budget, so most organizations will already have a budget set for their on-ground events, right? And when they have to opt for virtual event, in their mindset, it will be much cheaper. So you don't have to actually pay for venue, you don't have to pay for their fabrication, your wiring and all that. So that is a mindset that you cannot change, right? But how much less? So it depends actually what sort of detail that you want. It's the same how you would approach any 3D development or 3D animation. If the animation is pretty much there, then it would take much less time to actually create. It will cost way lesser. That goes back to the idea why we want to build a template, right? It's for this, the cost will be much lesser because the time taken to actually build a virtual site is much quicker. So it costs much lesser. But again, so it all depends on the scale of your client's expectation, basically. Yeah. Does that answer the question? And which phase is budget driven? Which phase is budget driven? Not sure I understand that question though.
Which phase is budget driven?
I would say the production phase is where the bulk of the production. Yeah. So building the 3D modeling, the texturing, the lighting of the virtual stage, the production itself, that's where the bulk of the costs are.
That's where the expertise come in.
Yeah.
Thanks.
So Fariz, basically when you if the shorter time frame, say like less than a week where you or didn't sleep, shouldn't that be an increase of budget? Can I say that it depends on the time frame? Kira macam if you have more time to work with, so not as expensive as if the shorter the time.
If you only use your in-house, then yes. If the client needs a shorter time that we need to hire more to actually execute within the shorter time, it will be much more costly. So the idea here is if you have templates, you don't need to hire people from outside, but you can still execute within the short time frame because you already have things laid out.
You still have things in house. So let's say we collaborate on a certain project or events, basically, to make it international events. So we have to like really sit down and discuss the process flow in order to estimate the time frame and the cost that may incur. Kan? Macam tu kan?
Yeah. So basically, it depends on the basically the bulk of the work is building the virtual stage. So how many stages do you want? Do you want the same stage to be throughout, or do you want different stages in different presentation tranches, or you have like different rooms that requires different sort of design? So that would dictate how much the whole workflow.
So if we have different breakout rooms, for example, so the branding behind, and then for different speakers, so that have to be built individually, separately, and
there's two ways to approach that. One is a 3D model. If you have a room, and then if you want 4 rooms with different skins, then there's only reskinning. So
reskinning.
Yeah, I think it's just change of textures. But if you want different rooms with different designs and different, walls and all that, that's
that one mahal lah.
Yeah.
That one mahal. So I understand the function of the studio with the green screen and all that. So what if they are from other countries, other states? So what we did before is we siapkan dia punya virtual background and then they adopt it. But there's only so much. There's no stage per se, unless kalau macam the CEO or the president have to attend, have to go to your studio, and then sebab dia host. So I think kalau host tu dekat KL senang lah sikit kan.
Yeah. So if you have multiple setup, like you have one Arvina setup here in KL, another setup in Jakarta, to make it live, I think it's about switching lah. You switch to which stream that you want to switch lah. But to be safer, it's always pre-record lah. But again, pre-record, you would loosen out that live interactive kind of.
Yes. Yeah. We will not have pre-recorded. Of course, the ideal it will be that, because you minimize all the risk. Yeah. But then yes, the interaction. However, I'm just thinking whether we can actually do some sort of pre-recorded, but the person is actually there for live interaction during during his or her session, for example.
We can plan it lah. It fits in, just like what Obama did with Oprah. So both of them are talking to each other, but they are in a very different setting. So when they talk to each other, it's through either, I think it's a Skype session lah.
Yeah.
But the footages that they have from both sides, they composite together for so as if they are in the same space. So that's actually another approach that we can look into as well, actually.
Yeah, I think there'll be some sort of, that's where we want to go, because it's the feel, the experience as if it's live.
Yeah.
As if it's live. So that Also satu lagi, in terms of when you do live streaming, so during live streaming, there's a slot of videos, and then a bit of animation during live streaming, and then whether it's going to be zoom in or zoom out kind of thing. So can you also control that?
Yeah. So we can, most of our cameras are fixed on a tripod. So we frame it. One camera actually captures the whole body. Another camera actually captures the close-up shots, right? They are fixed. But all the motion that you see just now is all virtual cameras. So virtual cameras to actually transition between different sets. But we are taking the same footage feed from the wide angle lah, so you have the whole body, so the kaki won't be cut lah. So that's the camera trick. Even if you only have one camera, it's still doable. But hopefully no close-up shot lah, then pecah lah.
Yeah. Okay. How would you say the duration of live streaming for an event, so that what would the ideal duration be, so that they won't have that online fatigue?
I would say anything less than 30 minutes actually, to be honest. But it all depends on the type of the event. So if you're talking about keynote presentation that need to be there to actually absorb all the information, then it can go quite long lah. But if you're talking about product launch, you want to have the excitement, you know, game show, you try to keep it within 30 minutes range lah. Nothing more than that.
Okay, thank you, Fariz.
No worries.
Fariz,
I think Jay is
hello?
going to. Oh yeah, hi
Hi.
Rama.
I have a question.
Yes, Rama.
Yes.
Yes, please.
Yeah. We have event company in Jakarta, but actually we are doing with a lot of below the line events.
Yes,
So
BTL.
this is like a brand activation with consumer goods products. So we're just wondering if you have experience dealing with consumer good clients, and because the client's objective is to increase sales. So a lot of our events are like dealing with the consumers directly. For example, at the schools or in the supermarkets, you know, things like that.
Mm-hmm.
So we are still thinking how to use this platform, like to promote this consumer goods directly to the target market. Because basically a lot of our events are below the line. So yeah.
Okay.
But this is, I think there's a potential for this.
Yeah. So yeah, thank you for that, Rama. I think for that one, it's much closer to the live selling vertical that we have within Arbina. So the strength is not only the actually designing the virtual stage is one, but actually the interaction that you want to have. So if you have audiences, you know, tuning in up to probably 100, 200 people, and they're chatting on the chat screen, asking questions. So you would need a lot of sort of like a moderator to actually address the needs of these customers, potential customers. And then you will have a bot installed as well for purchasing journey. So if the host will probably say that type in, you know, buy item 01 to purchase. So if you type that out, and then the bot will take over, and then will lead you to the checkout based on your existing e-commerce site. So if you have things like Shopify or, you know, existing shopping cart system, you can have the bot actually lead to that. So it's a very good opportunity to explore. And how you can work with them is that if they have your client of yours is if I'm not, is a FMCG, so you have multiple products under there, right? So what you can do is that you can help them execute or set up the green screen for them, and then we can deploy the stage via cloud, and also the bot. Also, we can assist them setting up a bot for them. So it makes things a bit much easier and cost effective for the longer run. So they can do this weekly. So if they want to have every, you know, Friday night, 8 p.m. is when they want to do the live selling, they can have it scheduled already. So yeah, that's very important to actually have your audiences to grow. You know, first few live stream, probably you won't get that much, but as people learn about the live stream and you have it scheduled every week, you will get, you know, accumulation of people coming in to see new products every weekend. Yeah. Does that answer your question?
Yes, we will discuss this, you know, for future events.
Okay.
Sounds really potential. Thank you, Fariz.
No problem. Tak dengar, Nazar.
Business matching on. You see, okay, to those of you are new here, let me explain a little bit about Tosh Group. We are a company who specialize in business matching. We help our client. In general, our clients are mostly in Singapore. Mobi Studio is also one of our partners or / client. We help them match with their potential partners or potential client in the region. And we has always been focusing with Southeast Asia which is Malaysia, Singapore, Indonesia, Philippines, and Thailand. So any of you have maybe wondering or penasaran about Tosh Group, please do ask us soon or later, no problem. So yes, I am curious about the rest of the audience. Like Ade Hani, I actually contacted Ade Hani this morning. I actually welcome her today. I'm just wondering if she have a question to ask, or probably she would like to introduce about herself. And I think what Rama did just now is also good. She actually introduced that she's from an event company and she's looking forward to venture into this new technology. I think Rizkiani actually asked a question: why our session is just not many people? I would like to explain on that. Simply because we did had an engagement more than 30 packs. It's just that it's not really suitable for us to manage. So we always have like 30 packs and below. It's a lot easier like this. I mean, we can actually ask the speaker and then we can answer, and that's one of the reason. So yes, maybe any of you, Uki, Anditya, or Ruli, Farolan, would like to introduce about what you do and what make you guys come here today.
Hello.
Yes. Thank you, Uki.
My name is Uki. I'm from Indonesia. Actually, I work with Ega here and Ruli and Mbak Rahma. So, yeah. So actually, the question that we are them asking is a question that that represents our interest to Fariz earlier.
All right, great. No worries. I mean, the whole idea of this Zoom networking as well is not only about asking about on a topic matter. It's also where we actually bahasa Indonesia is gaul, is it? Yeah. The closer we get, the better, the more open we can actually go with. So maybe when the pandemic is over, we can actually meet up in Jakarta. I'm actually in Bandung, okay. So I just yes, I am a Malaysian who actually live in Bandung because I am married to an Indonesian. So I've been living here for the past 5 years. So yeah, mungkin bahasa Indonesia aku nggak sebagus orang Indonesia because I am Malaysian. Orang Bandung pada tahu kalau aku ngomong pasti ini orang Malaysia. So that's why but I'm trying, yeah, no problem. So maybe in the future where I am here actually managing the Indonesian office for Tosh Group. So we are here to connect to as many as new partners as we can. I think I saw your registration. You guys are from this event company called something start with C, right?
ClickCom.
Yeah, ClickCom. Yes. So yeah, yes. Maybe after this session we can connect, where we can discuss what further we can do together. No problem. So yeah, thank you for joining us today.
Thank you.
So Fariz,
yes,
do you have anything else to share? I think people are still curious. People want to ask.
There another thing that I really want to explore things about on the live e-commerce lah. to be honest, I haven't done much homework in Indonesia on how extensive live commerce is, but I'm sure there's a lot of independent sellers that is already adopting into live selling through Facebook and Instagram. So there's a lot more opportunity to actually, deploy this on a bigger scale, especially in Indonesia. So if any of you guys have, e-commerce platform as your client or brands as your client that wanting to actually explore e-commerce, live streaming as a platform, Arvina is one of it. There's also part where, you have the chatbot also would definitely help them out in getting all these audiences to check out seamlessly, because you can't really, if you have like 500, 1,000 people viewing at the same time, you cannot really, engage with each of them. So bots would definitely help. And there's a big potential in Indonesia. Yeah, something that you really want to look into. And other than that is also, live selling, like cosmetic brand, you can do, demonstration how it works, how to apply into your face, right? And then you can have them try it on without buying the product through face filters. That is one thing that we're currently developing with brands as well. So you have, product lines with different colors, so you can apply it on their face and simulate how it look like after application without having the hassle to actually really apply on your face. So that one actually runs on Instagram and Facebook, so we can explore that as well. And then property live selling, virtual tours. You can do live sale of a property showcase. You have a house, you have a room, you can go inside the showroom and do a live streaming. So you can show how beautiful the house is, and have a only 1 day promotion. If you tune into this live stream, you will have this sort of discount, right? So entice people to actually, get your booking in at that moment, and actually, convert that into sales. So that's another way to explore. I think even in Malaysia as well, property live selling is still limited to just a virtual showroom where you can walk into the house, but there's no actual people to actually talk to you. Again, we are Southeast Asian. We like conversational conversational selling. So you want to be able to have a conversation with anyone who's selling things to you, because you have questions, you're curious, right? So that's another thing to explore. So a lot of things we definitely can explore.
Fariz, I missed a question. Came from Ruli Farulan. He asked, what is your backup plan for internet connection if lost or down when running live session?
Oh yeah. It's I would say the internet is like an oxygen. The internet is as good as your electricity in your building. You cannot have it down. Right? So it's as important. If you don't have power supply, you have backups, right? But for internet, I think I don't know how the connection there in Indonesia, but for us, in case the client still needs a backup plan, we have these trucks that comes in with the mobile internet connectivity, but it will cost a bomb. Just for a backup plan, it will cost a bomb. And another way of doing it is those SIM cards. So you can connect your streaming machine with this routers that have SIM cards. But again, talking about telcos, you need to really test different telcos speed. So you need to buy all the operators SIM card and test that out at that area, see which one works best and keep that and use that as the backup. But again, you probably won't have the stability of a plugged in internet connection with a SIM card, because basically it's wireless. So so stable. But as for backup, that can be an option. If the client still asks for plan B, that could be that option for them.
Yeah.
May I add to that also, talking about when you mentioned the various SIM cards for different telcos, there is another option where you can rent a mobile modem kind of thing, where it can detect whichever telco Wi-Fi is the strongest. So wherever you are, wherever you are, it just detect. Cumanya if that place, if they are in the place where there's no connectivity at all, that cannot be helped lah. But then of course, because here we have Celcom, DG, Maxis, and others, so it detect whichever that has the strongest bandwidth. Yeah.
That's good option.
Interesting. Yeah, don't forget U-Mobile.
U-Mobile.
I think it's the cheapest SIM card, right? So far,
the it's not as strong, not everywhere. Sometimes they have no line at all.
Okay. I have lost knowledge about the telco in Malaysia.
What's the biggest telco in Indonesia at the moment?
Telkomsel.
Telkomsel.
Yeah, you don't mess with Telkomsel.
Right.
Well, we have XL, which is a subsidiary of Celcom.
Axiata.
Yes, Axiata.
Okay.
And then we have others, which is 3, Tiga. And then Indosat. Correct me if I'm wrong. But the day I stepped in Indonesia, that was the first question I asked. Which telco is the best? So everyone say Telkomsel. So ever since then, I've never used any other thing. Telkomsel tu kira macam our Celcom in Malaysia.
Right.
They have all the backbones around the countries. So you don't mess with Telkomsel. Even when you go to the rural, kampung-kampung, only Telkomsel works.
I see.
Owned by the government.
Yes, it's owned
by our TM lah.
Yeah, that's why TM and Celcom lah. We used to have TM Touch kan dulu kan. Yes. So their backbone is all over Indonesia. So that's why even now, I mean the latest news, the telco is going to merge. Probably 3 and some Indosat is going to merge. So even the big 2 green company in Indonesia probably going to merge, which is Tokopedia and Gojek.
That's going to be the largest because there's what, 18 billion investment?
18 billion.
Oh,
yes.
That's amazing. What about for Indonesia? How's the 5G coming along?
Long way to go.
Long way to go, sister.
Long way to go.
But I must say something as a Malaysian, their 4G is better than ours in Malaysia. Don't tell the Prime Minister about this, but yes, that's the reality. Because my experience when I go back to my kampung in Pamampek, which is in Garut, and that's like the South Sea. Telkomsel 4G is clear. I can even have a Zoom session in my kampung. So it's better. It's like in Thailand. Even you go to Thailand also, Thailand punya 4G pun better. I do not know why. Probably is political in Malaysia, which is Celcom is conquering all the backbone. I don't know.
TM, not Celcom. TM.
Yeah,
everybody getting it from TM. But I must say that when I go to Thailand, or even Vietnam, their Wi-Fi is amazing compared to Malaysia lah.
Yes, exactly. This is recorded, but no worries. No one is gonna ask more.
It's good if they would. I'm sure they are aware of this.
They do.
Yeah, it's just a matter of how fast or how far or how remote that they can reach out to. So that's the issue.
Yeah.
I think I understand why Indonesia put a lot more effort on mobile connectivity as well. I think that's where the bulk of the connection are being made rather than house usage, right? So I think that's where the customers are. So they are doubling down on that. Make sure the coverage is, if you're in the deep end as well, if you want to buy anything from Tokopedia, you can still buy stuff. So yeah.
Yeah, each person can only have maximum of 3 numbers. So if you want to have a new number, you need to delete one of these numbers.
You have a quota.
They have a quota. This is registered to their KTP lah, which is their IC.
In Malaysia, you can have as many numbers under
exactly. But because of our numbers, you see. So yes.
Yeah. Okay.
So yes. Those are the info. Yeah. Telco. I would say telco here are doing their best. I mean, in terms of connectivity. So in fact, Wi-Fi, they have like I don't know. I'm using MNC Play in my place. How many Wi-Fi we have, Farah?
Wi-Fi, there are many. So countless.
In fact, one what I discovered the other day, they have this Indosat, IndiHome. IndiHome cannot play Netflix, correct? I don't know. Recently, they actually open it already.
Now it can.
Now can already. So that kind of control they have. So yeah, but so far we are not bound to any. The Indonesian say we are not kudet in terms of technology. Kurang update. So I think, in fact, even the people in Indonesia even have their own way of using it in their way. So that's interesting. So yes, I think it's a very interesting discussion today. Thanks to Fariz. I'm so happy that he actually agreed to be a speaker. So yeah. And if only we have him earlier, I think we can get more people to join. But Alhamdulillah, we managed to get at least 15, 16 joining today.
Yeah, this is good. This is good.
Yes, yeah, so he seems to be very professional of doing this already. So I'm gonna take note that every new thing that he come out later, we just gonna ask him to share it in Zoom Networking.
Okay.
So just to share something new about Zoom Networking, we decided to do this on a weekly basis. And any of you have someone that want to be introduced, want to use our platform to share their business, to share their service, to share their product, please do let me know, because the calendar is still open. And yeah, we can actually discuss about anything that related to business, but not politics.
No politics.
Yeah, I actually wanted to discuss about HSR, but then no point lah. Kasih tahu pun dah mati lah projek tu kan. But yeah, thanks to
projek tak mati. Project
yeah, I hope the upcoming Prime Minister will actually do it lah.
I doubt the Singapore government is going to.
I must confess this. Regardless what Najib did to the country, but to me, he did something for Malaysia, which is he did the LRT, he did the MRT, he tried to do this ERL and this HSR, but yeah, what can I do? So anyway, Uki, Rizkiani, Ega, Ruli, Ade, Hani, Sulki, Jay, and Fariz and Farah, of course.
Yep.
Thank you for joining us today.
Thank you.
Thank
We
you.
also have a certificate
Oh
for
yes, I want. Let's present. Yeah, we have a certificate for you.
Oh, okay.
All right.
You guys do something like,
You can show this to Obama. Obama would like this.
it's Mark Zuckerberg as well.
Yeah.
All right. Very much. Thank you. I'd like to for you guys to also connect with me through LinkedIn as well. So you just search for my name lah. So
Yes.
if you connect through LinkedIn, I think there's a lot of discussion that we can follow through from there lah. Yeah.
Yes. Thank you so much. So yeah, Zoom networking session is always one of the part that make my pandemic days goes wild, because I can actually connect with a lot of people. So yeah, thank you again. Thank you for joining. So hope to see everyone again next week. Oh yes, next week Jay is our speaker. So forgot to share that. Yes, Jay will be sharing to us about the future of event. So let's look forward to his coming Thursday. So yeah, so hope to see you all again next week. So,
yes, thank you very much. Thank you, Fariz, for today. A lot of ideas are churning up here, and I'll be in touch. I'll be in touch because we have plans already up until end of 2021. Yeah, I'll get in touch with you. And yes, meet me on Thursday next week.
Yeah.
Everybody, hope to see everybody, and would love to have this kind of session and Q&As, and sharing of the experiences. So we have Malaysian, Indonesian, hopefully there's some from Thailand ke apa ke, so that we can actually browse, because I did a lot of interaction and communication via virtually with so many other event organizers around the world. Of course, sometimes the timing is after midnight because of the time difference. But yes, it's very interesting. People who are not in the event industry may not be able to understand because they only see the surface. So let me explore with you next week and see how exciting it is.
Yeah. All right. Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone. Thank you for joining. So hopefully to see you all again next week. But before that, I've never done this before, but that's maybe because I'm not a photo person. I would like to take photo with everyone. So if you guys can actually turn on your camera so we can take photo together.
My hair's okay?
Yeah, your hair looks good, bro. All right. Funny see Uki, Ega. All right. Thank you. Okay. 1, 2, 3. All right. Thank you. I'll take another one. 1, 2, 3. Thank you so much for joining. So hopefully to see you guys again next week. And yes, we really appreciate your attendance today. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you,
everybody. Thank you, everybody.
Take care.
Bye.
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 Hello.
I think
There's still Rizkiani. Hello.
Are you there? Are you still there?
I'm gonna stop the recording.
Okay, stop first. All right, done. I think I don't know whether it's a she or he. Oh, she. Hi. Only now you want to open your camera? How nice.
I'm in office.
Oh, okay. Sorry. Can you talk now? No.
Okay, if you can. So I invited Rizkyani from the contact of ASEAN Para Games group.
Oh, all right.
Yes. So she's also marketing of APK, right?
Right. Now we are in one division.
Yeah.
Okay.
Great.
Yeah, nice to meet you, Farah.
Nice to meet you also, Mari.
Yeah, nice to meet you also, Rizkyani.
Nice to meet you too, Zaha.
Thank you for joining. So yeah, hopefully when you have time, maybe we can chat more.
Yes.
All right then. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.